I think that if a student came to me and told me that a native speaker would be a better teacher or would know more the grammar, then I would I would tell him that he is completely wrong. I would tell him, "Oh, you are a native speaker of Portuguese. Can you teach Portuguese?" You know. So I think that this is a kind of colonizing thinking, to say that Americans could be better teachers than ourselves, especially because we know, especially if the student is from our own country, we know where they are committing mistakes. The native American, the native speaker of English, they will never know why a student from Brazil, for example, is saying things like, I have 20 years old. They will never know because they don't know that here in Brazil we use the possessive verb to talk about age, so they will listen to their students committing the same mistake. They will never know why it happens. So this is a very common mistake, and it's commonly said. I think it's sad because it diminishes our abilities as teachers in general, I would say, because of course, if it was a teacher from the United States, a native speaker who was, graduated in linguistics and who could explain, that's okay. But even though he wouldn't know how to correct a native speaker of Portuguese as much as a Brazilian person or a Portuguese person. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference if you say McDonald's or McDonald's? You can understand both things. And if an American teacher tells you that, the better way to say that word is McDonald's, I don't know, do you see a difference? I don't see it. But
Doesn't make a difference.
yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I know for Americans or British people, young people, there are lots of programs where they can go to other countries like South America, Asia, and teach English. And they have like a 2 months course to learn how to be a teacher. So of course they speak English very well, but it doesn't mean they can explain well for someone who is still learning. So it's kind of easy, let's say, for them to get a job in Brazil or in other countries to be a teacher. But the main skill is that they know how to speak. So it doesn't really mean they are good teachers. It doesn't mean they won't be in the future after practicing, but not just because there is a teacher who is native that he is really good.
Yeah, and opens up a conversation about good teachers. Do you think that teachers, they have to take professional courses or license to teach? Are there any requirements? Luana said something about like it is not enough just to speak the language, right? You need to have some kind of teaching skills, right? Do you think that by taking a teacher training course will develop your teaching skills better, or taking a teacher training program, right? I mean, here in Brazil, to work at a public school, we need to have a degree, right? We need a license to teach English, right? But if you want to work in any language course, you don't have to. And speaking, it's like a requirement, you know. But you don't have to take a degree. Maybe you will get some certificates beforehand and then work at a language course, but mostly you don't have to have those certificates, right? Do you think that a certificate, I mean, says something about your skills as teachers? Yes,
Well, as Icar was saying, I would say not because you know the language or not because you're a native speaker or a native from that language makes you a good teacher or even a teacher. It's, for example, what if I tell you, or what if I ask you to teach me your grammar of the Brazilian or the Portuguese grammar? Would you be able to teach me everything from the grammar, where to put, I don't know, just teaching about the subject, the verbs, the complements, or I know you're going to be a really good teacher about pronunciation, but what about grammar? So knowing the language doesn't make you a good teacher, and having a degree or some kind of course that make you teach or to teach you how to teach, that will be the minimum what you must have if you want to teach English, or if you want to teach an idiom, or if you want to teach a language. So if you have to learn how to teach, that's one of the minimum things you have to do if you want to do that for a living, not just say like, I don't know how it's in Portuguese, but in Spanish it's really hard. I don't know, just like the el pretérito, for example. I don't know how to even say that in English, because they don't have that in English. So I don't know how to, personally, I don't know how to teach el pretérito to someone who asked me, can you teach me that? And I was like, what? El subjuntivo, for example. I don't know how to teach that, or I don't know how to do that. Even though I was talking to Eliana's, when I was talking to her, when I went live with her, I told her that I learned the passive voice, and I learned how to use the passive voice when I was learning English, and not in my native language. So it just depends on what you want to do, on how you want to do. If you want to be a teacher, or the best teacher you would like to have when you were a student.
So a requirement is a teaching license or training course. Do you think so?
I think a training course I think a training course will be better, and not a degree. Okay, I'm not saying that not having a degree or having a degree doesn't make you a good teacher, but like the minimum is like a teaching course or techniques for teaching.
Right. Can I go for the first? Thanks for sharing. Can I go for the first story, guys? Have you read it? I sent you
I didn't want to say something, Lisa.
I'm sorry, I'm not
sorry.
Let me. Okay.
No, I want to say something. I already shared this with Giza and Iker, but I would like to share with everyone who is here. Firstly, I believe that this issue about being native or non-native, it's quite polemical. It is an issue. I believe so. It is an issue. And I don't feel fair that sometimes you are kind of, I want to go to Thailand for 2 years. I want to go, to the beach and, enjoy life in Thailand, for example. But I am a businessman, or I am a personal trainer. Okay, nothing to do with the language. But I want to go to Thailand for a year. So what do? I do the CELTA. Then I can work as an English teacher there. I will get a job easily. I will get my visa easily. So that's a bit painful for me because, it's just like I'm going to be a personal trainer in Colombia because I want to live in Colombia. They have a visa. So I'll be like, I don't know anything about, body and exercise. It's the same. And another thing that I would like to add is that I have a A1 student. She's from Brazil. And I really struggle to teach her because most of my students, they are more advanced than this girl. This girl is, when she came to me, she didn't have English at all. So I was trying to teach her the infinitive to eat, to walk. And she couldn't get. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then 2 weeks later, she came to me and said, my teacher told me. But then the teacher told, if you want to use comer, amar, cantar. See, you need to use to in English. So I was a bit disappointed because I knew that, but I kind of forgot because I live here for many years, and yeah, that's what a native speaker wouldn't do for her. See, he wouldn't know comer, amar, rezar is like you need to use to in English. So that's one thing.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Um, so have you read my story, guys? The first one that I sent.
Yes.
Help me, please. The first story was, let me see if I remember. It's about a teacher that has traveled, I mean, has lived abroad for quite a while, right? Like for years in US. And he has been hired to teach at this school. And I was hired to work at that school too. So I don't have any broad experience so far. I don't have any, right? And that teacher had like teenager classes. They are so messed up with the students were playing around and joking around all the time. The teacher, he failed to teach and didn't know what to do with the students. But he had a broad experience, and I was about to work there, right? If you were in my place, in my shoes, would you tell that teacher anything, like give any piece of advice on how to conduct the class and how to better conduct the class with those teenagers messing around? Yes.
Well, I would have told him something, just like not being rude with him, but just to tell him, I don't know, just like, can I do something to just to see if it works with them, and if I have the opportunity to do that, I will be just like I would remember how I was as a student and what I wanted my teacher should be with me. For example, and I'm just like I've had students that were like teenagers, like 13 or something, and they were just messing around, and I was like, and I don't know, I remember I started clapping my hands up, and they were like, "Whoa, what happened?" And I started to sing and something that they really know, and they were like, just like, "What are you doing, teacher? Why are you singing like that?" I was like, "I want you to pay attention to me." And they were like, "Why that?" And I was like, "I want you to pay attention to me." And then most of them were like, they didn't remember that at all for an entire year. They didn't remember the time when I was clapping, I was singing. Actually, I the worst singer ever. And then everyone was just like, I still remember the time you wanted us to pay attention to you, and just started just like doing goofy things. And then they realized that I was there to teach them, not to sometimes to teach and sometimes to be part of the group. And I don't know, just I know it might be your first time with them, or I don't know, it just maybe a week or something sort sometime later. Maybe you get to know them better and get to know what to do with them or what do they like, so you can get to those people. And for example, in my case, I really knew that they love. There was a song, I don't remember right now, but it was a really high song. And can you imagine one of the worst singer and trying to get to a high note? And then just like to realize that I'm I could be part of the team by in one of the time, one moment. And I don't know, it just worked for me. And maybe people can do that, not exactly clapping or singing, but maybe just like having a game for them, or trying to distract them from that point. But because maybe that thing they're not interested in that, but trying to change their point of view. For example, if they're learning, I don't know, passive voice, just trying to make a game by trying to use that grammar. I don't know, just that's what I would have done and what I have done sometimes with my students.
Especially with teenagers, right? It's really hard to conduct a class with very like
Yeah.
noisy teenagers. You have to show that you are there as their teacher, like some kind of authority figure there. But the thing that I went through was just like that teacher, he had an abroad experience, right? And I have none abroad experience, and I was supposed to work there for the first time, supposed to be hired, right? Um, but would you give any piece of advice to that teacher on how to conduct the class?
Can I say it?
Yes, of course.
I think if you knew what to do in the situation, yes, you can help, because it's painful to watch a teacher struggling, and maybe he was inside, he was screaming for help, thinking, what I'm going to do with these kids in front of the new teacher. So maybe this teacher was great in a different class with other people. Not all teachers work well with teenagers. Not all of them know how to work with children. So we have our main public, so maybe he wasn't, maybe he was not, he had a broad experience. Maybe he was a great teacher, but with little experience with teenagers. So I don't think it says that he's less competent because he was having a difficulty with teenagers. So hopefully he would understand that and accept help without feeling that, like, oh, this new one trying to help me. So yeah, I think it would be a good thing to help him. Yes.
Yeah, well, don't you think it would be something like I'm not sure if it's embarrassing. That teacher would feel if I had given any piece of advice, it would felt like it would be embarrassing for him as a teacher not having the authority of a teacher in class. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it depends on the way you talk to the teacher and the way he feels about himself. And if the students see that you are working together, they wouldn't think that you took over his class, that you took the lead. So it's all a matter of how you do something, how you say it.
And the classes kept, like noisy. There was no class actually. And they like called someone for pizza, it was a party time and no classes. And I was supposed to be the teacher that's supposed to watch the classes and learn, you know? So that's something that happened to me. You want to share anything? Icaro and Nalini can move on to the next one.
That happened to me when I was working here. I was working with early years education with toddlers, and then I couldn't control them, and I wasn't doing what I wanted. And then many times the girls who are doing like internship, like they need hours to finish their course, their graduation, so they come and stay with us. And many times they take over, and I was just like, okay, because sometimes you are frustrated because you're not where you are. Maybe this guy is not the right person to teach teenagers. Maybe he can do it well with other age groups.
Later on, I found out that my teacher, my Portuguese teacher from high school, was his student. I don't know, somehow. I find it funny somehow, I don't know. But maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe he doesn't have skills for teenagers, right skills.
Yeah.
Yes, it could.
it's a this is true. It's a matter of class management. I totally agree with what all of you guys said about it. So it will depend. It will depend on the context, on whether, as you guys said, the teacher was good with those students, like they are teenagers, if they are good teaching teenagers. That is also the matter of the compatibility with the group, because sometimes we are good at teaching teenagers, but we are not compatible with the one specific group, you know. So sometimes the group is not compatible with us. You know, there are many uh, specific things that we have to take into account. I love teaching adults. I love teaching adults, but I have had groups of adults who were terrible, not because they were like because because they were too quiet, for example, and they didn't want to participate, and they were in the last level, you know, paying money for that course, and they weren't participating. So there are also bad groups with adults too, you know. It depends on whether you are compatible with them or not. There you go.
That's why I like one-to-one.
Yeah, yeah. I like one-to-one too.
Much
Actually,
easier to manage.
Aline, that school is only for, it's actually focused on one-to-one classes, but they can make like groups of like 5 students, you know, like 4 students. Not telling names here because I was not hired, okay? Just kidding. Yeah. Oh, look.
Hi.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your
She's
name?
gorgeous.
She's
What's your name?
cute.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
cute. Preciosa. Mucho preciosa.
¿Se dice?
Gracias.
Sandra is here with.
Can I say something to you, Giza?
Yes, of course.
Just one thing here I heard about, you said the pronunciation of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Just living in America. I think I
Yeah.
said that to you guys before. It don't matter where you go, okay? It is not a specific way to say, because as I say, if you go to the South, which is Georgia, North Carolina, they pronounce it different.
Differently, yeah.
If you go to Manhattan, which is the apple of the United States, they pronounce one way. If you go to
Yes.
Brooklyn, what is a border of Manhattan, is a different way. So you're gonna encounter a gazillions way of people going to pronounce the word. But the meaning things in here I have heard from my husband and for other people's American native, it don't matter. It's not a specific way for that pronunciation, as long as you be understood. Don't matter. You can say Mac Mac, people know what you mean. You know what I mean? Where you go? I go to Mac Mac. People know they shortcut the word for do that. And so no what about it? It's whatever you say, they understand. That's what they want to hear. They want to sell their stuff. Who cares? Who cares? You
Yeah,
know?
I agree. Sorry, I agree with that. There is one thing that I don't like. It's to teach the way you say the brands, you know. Like there are many videos, many people like it, okay? People are different, but there are many videos online where they say, how to say Levi's, how to say Adidas. And I think I don't need to know the brand. If I'm paying the product, I will say the way I want. And who cares? Is Adidas in Brazil? It's okay. Here it's different. I don't want to learn the brands. No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing
Yeah,
about the teachers, excuse me, I am not a teacher, okay, but you guys was talking about to be a teacher in here, talking about America. You're not gonna becoming a teacher out of the blue. You need a certificate from the Board of Education. That's period. You gotta go through that. There's no way you can open a school in here or say, oh, that's an English school. No, you have to have it. You gotta pass, because that's the law. That's the rules. You can't just name yourself, I am an English teacher. Even you can speak it fluent, whatever, in grammar, in speaking, and pronunciation. If you don't have that diploma, guess what? It is nothing, anything. It doesn't mean anything for them, because for one reason, this country, everything in here, it is something, a reason for someone sue someone. What it means sue? It's like in Brazil, take someone to the court. So you don't want to put yourself over there if it's a father or whatever coming and complain, listen, the teacher, Jesus, do that. You need to have a backup. Because if they prove you don't have no license to do that, you don't have no education to do that, you're in a hot water. Because they always going to go for the law. They don't care how good you speak, how good they care about together. It's a combo. You got to have the license, but you have to have the knowledge of the language. If you don't, that's why they're very hard in here to become an English teacher. Very hard. You have to be like extremely 100% in both speaking and writing. But coming to the other point, you can have students like you guys, many of you do online, no problem. You can catch any student as long as someone willing to pay for, you know, and add you as a teacher. But to meaning to go to school, no, not at all.
No, but that's the same in Brazil as well. You cannot be a teacher in Brazil if you are not graduated in letras. But I think in terms of school is the same as in the United States. However, in terms of English institutes or online teaching is different. But if you want to teach in an English school, we know Icar is here. It's graduated.
Exactly. The properly way. That's what they say over there when you go. You need to be teaching the proper way. That's all. That's what they say. That's not what I'm thinking. So everybody's can think something different, but that's not the way I'm thinking. You know what I mean? So have a many ways to learn the language. And as many of you know, I already probably title here. I never went to school. I learn my English as I go, as they say here. I am a picker. I just listen and repeat. I don't ever went to school to get grammar and stuff like that. Never. I just live and learn. That's what they say. Live and learn. And then I still do. But I will never, like some people in here, when it comes to someone, oh, can you teach? No, I can't teach you English. I'm not a teacher. I don't have those background. I'm not teaching English. Not at all. Just as Armando was saying, you know, I can't teach English when I don't know the grammar rules. How I'm gonna teach someone? I can't. I just out of my league to do that. I can't. I can't. I don't have the background to say, okay, I'm gonna teach you proper.
Sandra,
you know, I don't want nobody learning the wrong way.
Sally, your friend.
But I can teach you cooking, Jesus. That's my league.
I want to see how the chili is, okay, when you're done with your cooking.
It's almost. I'm gonna show you.
Yes. Sandra has a friend, her name is Sally. She's American.
Look.
Oh.
Get in there. See? That one I can teach you. Yeah, that one I can teach everybody, okay?
She has a friend, her name is Sally. She is an American teacher, okay? And Sally has a WhatsApp group for Brazilians only. Her group works like that. She sends like some text, some paragraphs, and she records the paragraphs with her pronunciation. And then, for example, Luana joins the group, and Luana will have her turn to speak, to record the paragraph. If Luana makes any mistakes, so Sally will give instructions. And I think it's a really good group because she's more focused on pronunciation, American pronunciation mostly. And I like it. If you are interested in joining her group, just talk to me. She's a friend of Sandra's, okay? The cook. So 7 minutes left. I think we can finish with the 7 minutes, right?
I believe that
yes. I have to mute you all. Oh my God. I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't understand. Sorry, Sandra, I didn't understand what you say.
About
the that in America they want you to be a real teacher, but in Brazil they want you to be a real teacher. As Ícaro, I know he is. because he graduated. It's not like I lived in Ireland, I'm going to Minas Gerais to teach to Brazil. Sorry, I don't know, Armando, maybe. I'm going to Brazil to teach in a public school. No, that's not like that. And I believe in Colombia it's not like that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like here in Brazil, in public schools, you have to have your graduation certificate. However, there are some, private sector courses that they do not like. At first, they do not require any certificate of you, but like most of them do, especially when they have internal courses. For example, CCB in Iceland here in the Pará region, we have Iceland, and they want you to take a course for you to become a teacher of theirs, but you have to take their courses, you know. I think that what Sandra means is that in there, it doesn't matter if it's a big school, a private school, or a public school, you will always have to have a certificate. Here in Brazil, there are some schools that still do not require, you know, there are some
But in a
small
country
schools.
like, I know what you mean. But in the end, in a country like the United States, where everybody speaks English, maybe they have this with Spanish teachers.
They
Maybe,
do. They do.
yeah.
They
So
do.
maybe the Spanish teachers, they don't need to be graduated. Maybe they need a course or something.
It don't matter. It don't matter. If you encounter a school with a Spanish teacher, two things: either they American kids born in here, but they have the double language because the parents teach them the Spanish, which majority of Brazilians do when they have a kid in here, especially if the husband, the wife is America. One is speaking English, one is speaking the Portuguese. So the child speak both language. Like my nephew, you talk to him, you never knew he's American, ever. He got the perfect Portuguese, but you speak
but
with the English, you notice right away he born in America. So he has
but
the thing.
Spanish teachers, Sandra, Spanish teachers, do they have to have certificates to teach
Yes,
Spanish? Okay.
it don't matter. If you come in here for a student, you can study to get all the degrees you need. Even you Brazilian, you can be a teacher, but you need the certificate from the Board of Education. You know what I mean? It don't matter. You could be Chinese, Morocco, Pakistan. You need it. Go to
I
the Board
understand.
of Education so you can get it. Then you can go to apply for any language school. As
It's like
one
a
thing,
license.
yes, it's like I said to Jesus. I think it is like why Brazilians choose America because they want to get the accent and stuff like that. But in here, as I speak, I have many not friends, acquaintances, people that I know. They starting with the Brazilian teachers. Why? Because they feel like if I want to ask a question in Portuguese, they want you to tell like how I can ask eu quero água. Then you the English teacher
The
Brazilian, but you
translation,
tell
right?
them in English. You know what I mean? Until they feel confident. But once they get this the basics, they move to America because then they want to get the accent because they understand. Some people do that in here. A lot of Brazilians, a lot of Brazilians prefer Brazilian teachers for that matter. But some others like they don't care, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the school that I mentioned to you guys. They have in Manhattan is based on the hotel, Pennsylvania. That's the school that I say if anyone wants to learn English, really like it's like it throw you in this ocean without life saving. Either you learn it to swimming or you die. That's the school because they have all variety of the language together in one classroom. So like I'm sitting next to Morocco. He only speaks Morocco. I only speak Portuguese, but he wants to learn English. I learn to learn English too. I want to. So guess what? The teacher is America. So what are you gonna do? You force yourself to learn the English because you can't speak Morocco. You know what I mean? So everybody talking about this school is the best in here in America for those who want to get like throw you in the ocean without life saving, you know? So it is funny. But yes, anybody can be a teacher as long as you go to the procedures. Just one more thing. My niece, when she came in here, she graduated in UNAMA as a journalist. When she came in here, she came with a visa she wants to go to the college. They didn't allow her to go to the college. She had to have 4 years of English so she can enter on the university to finish her degree. She has to 4 years before they accepted her. And then she was speaking English. She was studying herself on her own in Brazil. She's from Belém too. But now she's, she finished, she graduated and everything, but they didn't accept her until she completed the 4 years of English.
I want to have your chili when you get in Belém, Sandra. Please let me know when you are here. I want to taste
it. All right. Going to be good.
Guys,
I give you chili, you give me acai.
Yeah, of course. So we have less than 1 minute. Do you want me to open up a new one so we can finish? Or don't want to make it?
I can't. I have to go.
Okay.
I just want to finish.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
have to go too. Sorry.
Sorry.
But let's leave it for the next one, for the next meeting, next question.
Yeah.
I'd love to participate in another one.
Okay, so thanks.
That's for you.
Coming. I have recorded the first part. Okay, I'm gonna check, and then I'm gonna check if I post or not. I'm not sure on the channel because we have a channel, right? We have a YouTube channel. Sometimes we post the lives.
Okay.
The conversation.
It's okay for me.
Oh, so okay. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, okay?
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.